Welcome into Chicago Bears Now. We are presented by Magic Spoon. Pick up a box of cereal or 4 boxes of cereal for $5 off at the link below, magicspoon.com/bears. We'll also have a link in the comments and in the description. And hey, trust me, delicious cereal, high in protein and 0 grams of sugar. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Guys, the news is flying in around your Chicago Bears, so we'll probably be back with another video later today. But let's discuss what we know now. The Bears have signed 2 wide receivers. We'll talk about the other one in a minute. Breshad Perriman, first here on a 1-year deal. Kind of broke out a couple of years ago with the Bucs. He was on that wild Jameis Winston 30 touchdown, 30 interception team where he really got rolling toward the end of that season, had almost 700 yards that year. Even last year had over 500 yards with the garbage Jets offense that they were running over there in New York. And I was surprised when Detroit cut him because the Lions don't really have any notable wide receivers. Big speedy player, has some big playability, almost 16 yards per catch for his career. He certainly has some upside. Now, he's been inconsistent. He's never really lived up to that first-round hype, but he's shown the last few years that he can at least be a solid rotation wide receiver at the minimum, and at best, maybe he can be like your number 3, number 4 wide receiver, which certainly would be nice. Last year, only 30 catches, but you see the big playability, over 500 yards. That's well over 15 yards a catch. Had 3 touchdowns along with 53. Like I said, in 2019 with the Bucs, a much more proficient offense, had almost 700 yards and I believe 6 or 7 touchdowns. So he's shown in the past that he's capable. I like the size at 6'1", 215, and he can really run as well. I like this move. I'll be curious to see how he fits in the offense. Certainly gives you another vertical element to this Bears offense here in 2021. What is your one-word reaction to the Bears signing Breshad Perriman? Get your words in down in the comment section. My one word, upside. I think there's some upside here, and I don't really think there's much downside. Worst case scenario, he doesn't work out. See ya. 1-year deal. Not a big deal whatsoever. This is why you subscribe to us here at Chicago Bears Now, because we're bringing you all of the news happening with this roster right now. Had the initial 53-man roster yesterday, bringing you more roster moves today, and I'm sure there will be a lot more to come in the next 24 to 48 hours. You see the link below. It's youtube.com/Bears Now. Do not miss any of our videos because we cover the latest Bears news and rumors, and week 1 is almost here. All right, the other receiver. This one was actually claimed off the waiver wire. Nsimba Webster heading to Chicago. And especially now with the Perriman signing, this really isn't about Webster, the wide receiver. This is about Webster, the return man. Spent their preseason with the 49ers. Has some gadget playability within an offense, but the last couple of years, he's been on the Rams roster, and he's had 0 catches. He's been purely used as a return man, and I fully expect that's what his role will be. He is your punt returner, Nsimba Webster. Maybe he'll return kicks as well alongside Khalil Herbert. We'll see how that ends up playing out, but this is clearly a special team signing to be your return man because when the Bears cut Dazz Newsome, we were like, who's going to return punts? Well, looks like it's going to be Nsimba Webster. So you look at the receiver depth chart, you add Perriman, sure, Webster's in there. I don't think he'll play much at all within the offense. So technically you have 7 receivers, but remember, Webster's really going to just be that specialist here, play on special teams for the Chicago Bears. Like I said, spent 2020 with the Rams, spent the preseason with the 49ers, and at just 25 years old, an upside play and certainly an impact guy on special teams right away. Now, I wanted Chicago to keep Dazz Newsome, to play him at punt, to be the punt returner, and to play some on offense. Who would you have rather had? Type NW for Nsimba Webster. Type DN for Dazz Newsome. Pick one. Who would you have rather had on this roster? Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Now, you talk about Dazz Newsome here. He did clear waivers, so he has not been claimed by another team. As we film this, he has not yet re-signed with the practice squad. A couple of other guys have, but Newsome has not as of yet. So I don't know if he's going to wait and explore to see if he can land on an active roster. We'll see. Obviously, I very much hope that he will return to the Bears practice squad, and we will have a full practice squad video once more signings come through on that side of things. So stay tuned for that here on the channel. We do know a couple of guys that will return to the practice squad. Thomas Graham Jr., he clears waivers as well. That's a good sign. He's back on the practice squad. I like this quite a bit because I like his upside still. He got beat a little bit, but he made some nice plays in camp in the preseason as well, so he returns to the practice squad. Charles Snowden as well. I'm a big fan of his. I think he can be a real player at some point. Love his size, like his bend. Thought he should have been drafted. He clears waivers as well. He returns to the practice squad. And also, just a couple of minutes ago before we started filming, sounds like running back Artavis Pierce will also re-sign to the Bears practice squad as well. Again, we'll have a more deeper dive into the practice squad on a video probably later today, so subscribe and stay tuned. Shout out to our today's sponsor. That is, of course, Magic Spoon. Guys, you can get $5 off this cereal at magicspoon.com/bears. They have tasty and delicious flavors, just tons of different ones. You've got frosted, cinnamon. I'm a big fan of the cocoa as well. And honestly, the health benefits are the best part of this cereal. You see it on screen. 13 grams of protein per serving, 4 grams of net carbs, 0 grams of sugar. It's delicious, it's tasty, it's healthy, it's the best of both worlds, and it's keto-free, grain-free, gluten-free, all of that good stuff as well. $5 off your first order at magicspoon.com/bears. I recommend trying the cocoa, but really, the thing I recommend the most is get 4 boxes. They got a 4-box deal. You get $5 off, by the way, and try some different flavors. Figure out what you like. That is what I definitely recommend if you are a fan of cereal. And if you want to eat healthy cereal, that's the place to do it. magicspoon.com/bears. We'll also have a link in the comments, and we will have a link in the description as well. magicspoon.com/bears. Make sure you take advantage of this deal. All right, some more Bears news coming through. Artie Burns back on the active roster, not the practice squad. So Burns signs, Webster signs, and Perriman signs. So that means the Bears have to make 3 corresponding moves. I think we know what 2 of those will be. We'll cover that in just a second. What do you guys think? Do the Bears still need a cornerback? You got 5 now with Artie Burns back on board, but do they need another one? Type Y for yes, type N for no. I lean yes still, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. Get your votes in down in the comments. So a couple of moves. These aren't officially official, but expect these to come down very soon. Sounds like Danny Trevathan is heading to short-term IR. Means he'll miss at least the first 3 weeks of the regular season, which is a bummer because I thought he played pretty well in the preseason finale. Alec Ogletree is expected to start in his place, so Trevathan will miss the first few weeks of the season. The Bears open up, of course, with the Rams. Then they play the Bengals before facing the Browns. So 2 tough opponents over the first 3 weeks without a key defensive starter. This somewhat explains why Chicago kept 7 inside linebackers on the active roster yesterday, but I think 5 or 6 would have been just fine, but it does explain it a little bit. Still don't understand 7, but I guess this does cover that a little bit. Obviously, Roquan Smith will be in there. I think Ogletree will be just fine. And then you've got Christian Jones, Caleb Johnson, Josh Woods, Joel Iggy. Plenty of depth at inside linebacker. So Danny Trevathan headed to IR on a short-term basis, which clears one of those roster spots for the corresponding moves we previously talked about. Hey, one thing I think we can all agree on is that no one likes injuries. And if you hate injuries, type H down in the comments. Come on, spam it. Type H if you cannot stand injuries. No one likes to see them. Hopefully Trevathan is back very, very soon. Spam H. Hopefully he's back because he started slow last year, but still had a great season. 112 tackles, 3 TFLs, a sack, a forced fumble, had 5 pass breakups as well. Had that interception in the preseason. He's not Roquan, but he's still a very, very good player. So get those H's in. Hopefully Danny Trevathan is back very, very soon for the Chicago Bears. What is your one-word reaction to Trevathan's injury? Let us know down in the comments section. One-word reaction to Trevathan. Mine might be surprised, but I guess depth would be the other word because, trust me, the Bears have plenty of depth at inside linebacker. Okay, final bit of story here. Teven Jenkins, he will also head to IR. Not officially official, but it's going to happen. The real question is could he be done for the year? That's what we all want to know. Obviously clears up another roster spot here. Unclear if or when he'll come back this season. I would guess he's going to miss at least half the year. I mean, the guy just had back surgery like 2 weeks ago, so if you get him back for the final 6 games, that would be nice just for him to kind of get invigorated. And then for 2022, he's full throttle. That's the hope. But I'll be honest, I'm not that confident he'll return. Back issues, you can't rush them. You got to be patient. You got to take your time. So we'll see what happens on that front. And hopefully the Bears offensive line can hold up with what they have. I mean, I was, somewhat surprised, pleasantly surprised, how well Jason Peters moved in that preseason game. He looked pretty decent. Jermaine Ifedi did not look that good, but that was his first action since coming off the pup. Hopefully he plays better. And I think Larry Borum is a real player that could get into the lineup at some point this season, but I'm not sure that'll be the case for Teven Jenkins, who continues to deal with that back injury and back recovery with that surgery. So we'll find out if and when Teven Jenkins will return, but it won't be anytime soon as he is heading to injured reserve along with Danny Trevathan. But again, one more move has to be made to clear that third roster spot because you added Perriman, Webster, and you brought back Artie Burns. Maybe one of those depth linebackers, or please, J.P. Holtz will actually get cut. Will Teven Jenkins play this year? This is what we'll sign off on. Type 1 for yes, type 2 for no. Get your votes in down in the comments. Will Teven Jenkins play for the Chicago Bears at all this year? 1 for yes or 2 for no. And trust me, you're not going to want to go anywhere. So subscribe, turn on those notifications, practice squad breakdown once more of those signings come in. If any more news drops as far as cuts or signings or whatever, we'll cover it right here, youtube.com/BearsNow. Don't miss any of it. I'm Harrison Graham. We will see you soon here on the channel.